Good morning. My name is Anthony Antolik. I am the founder of Antolik Enterprises. I am a loving husband, a friend to many, and most of all, I am a patriot. The recent riots that we have been experiencing after Donald Trump's successful election have nothing to do with Trump. They are the result of encouragement from a terrorist group known as Anonymous that feed off of the naive and ignorant, undereducated fears of our younger generation. We cannot keep this going. We cannot allow for our public schools to indoctrinate a new generation of communists into our country. We cannot allow for policies that are allowing people to come into our country that have no business to come in. The riots are just a symptom. We saw it with Occupy and the protests in the 60s. In fact, many of the older generation that happened to be joining these protests are throwbacks from the 60s. I was once a member of Anonymous, and I still believe in a lot of what they do. But I have to speak out against this one because our country's already broken. We had probably the worst election in our history, causing more division than I saw in my lifetime, and definitely more division than the Founding Fathers ever envisioned. To just put a figurehead in office. Look, the reality is that we are the government. And Thomas Jefferson made it very clear that if the government becomes so corrupted that it becomes necessary to change it by election or overthrow it by revolution, then it is not only our right to do so as the American citizens, but as human beings, it is our moral obligation to do so. I want you to think about that as I show you this next clip. I want you to consider the idea that our country isn't fractured. We have been gut shot and we're bleeding to death. We need change. And I'm not talking about the change that Barack Obama was talking about. For he did nothing. We do not need to allow a generation of undereducated college kids that are young and idealistic to become social terrorists, and for us to just give them a slap on the wrist. Thank you, and enjoy the next clip. In 2013, we asked the Obama administration if we were serious about enforcing immigration laws.
Are we serious about border security and employment verification? Are we serious about making this the last time we have this conversation?
Oh, this is awful. Try it. Oh, no, that looks gross. What is that? You gotta try it. It's terrible. I don't want to try it if it's terrible. It's like mango chutney and burnt hair. No, thank you. I have a very sensitive palate. Just try it.
Guys, I think we should hurry up. If you taste something bad, you want someone else to try it. It's what you do.
In July of 2006,
After Trayvon Martin was killed, the president said that could have been my son, Mr. Speaker.
Deported.
And when I see a picture of a beautiful Kate Steinle smiling, that could have been any of our daughters. Sanctuary cities. It has almost a utopian sound to it, doesn't it? Well, as the Speaker knows, the definition of sanctuary is a place of refuge or safety. And my question for folks in San Francisco and my colleagues who support this policy is a refuge for whom? A sanctuary for whom? A refuge for Kate Steinle? A sanctuary for Kate Steinle? Or a refuge for a convicted felon with a 25-year-long criminal history?
Now let's set the record straight. There's no argument over the choice between peace and war. But there's only one guaranteed way you can have peace, and you can have it in the next second. Surrender. Admittedly, there's a risk in any course we follow other than this, but every lesson of history tells us that the greater risk lies in appeasement. And this is the specter our well-meaning liberal friends refuse to face, that their policy of accommodation is appeasement. And it gives no choice between peace and war, only between fight or surrender. If we continue to accommodate, continue to back and retreat, eventually we have to face the final demand, the ultimatum. And what then?
Plane has hit Tower 2, the Twin Towers. You hate to say the words, but what comes to mind right now, terrorist attack. That is what it looks like at this point.
World. We are anonymous. Message to Donald Trump and our world leaders. How many more wars? How many more people have to die? Enough is enough. These strategic war games need to cease. This isn't a game and there are no winners. Your proxy wars are over. End this now. If you fail to heed this message, a third world war is inevitable. Millions will die and every single one of their deaths will be by your incompetence as so-called leaders. This is a call to every peace seeker, to every valuer of truth and honesty, to every being of unity and progress. You are the ones that must stand together and rise in the face of conflict. We can stand united and show that we will not allow ourselves to be used as pawns in a never-ending game of lies and adversity. The future of this species relies on the choices we make right now. The outcome of our actions will have a lasting impact on generations to come. Do not come to regret the future you created for your children and their children. This is your opportunity to make a difference and put peace above self-interests. To change and redesign the status quo. This is your chance to create something truly magnificent. We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.